All right, it's another installment of my top three songs from each studio record from artists that I'm just going to say I love. Every group I've done so far I love, and today's going to be part one of AC/DC, the Australian legends. Man, did these just rock titans. I love these guys. I've been listening to them probably for 30 years. And pretty confident I zoomed in back in black. Not that I was listening to them when that album came out, but I know that was the first one I started listening to, and that Highway to Hell was in there as well. And then I have an older brother who AC/DC was one of the staple bands when we were kids and growing up. So we're going to do the top three songs from these fellows. I'm going to do four albums, their first four international albums or US releases in this part one. But yeah, this is a bluesy rock and roll, hard rock. When I was a kid, I thought they were heavy metal because of just the riffs and then just down to the vocals. I mean, they're gruff and not squirrely. They just weren't. They're not clean even when they were singing like mellow songs. There's more of this has this edge and this grind to the vocals from Bon, but also from Brian Johnson. So I think when I was a kid, definitely thought they were heavy metal, and now I think they're a hard rock, bluesy rock band. Now that I have all their records, so let's get into this. First, you see, this is the current picture of the guys in the band. I believe, sadly, Malcolm passed away. And so this is their nephew, I think, right here. I'm not remembering his name. I know it's not George because George, one of their brothers, I think, and produces. Maybe this is Steve Young. I'll have to look that up. I'll have it when I get down to the most recent records from AC/DC. But let's find the album. So the first US release is titled High Voltage, and this is maybe it's like a greatest hits of the two Australian versions, or the two Australian albums that came out first, which I think the first one's called High Voltage and the other one was called TNT, but I might have that mixed up. I know one was called TNT. But here we are. You can see Angus Young on the cover. That's going to be a theme through a lot of their records. He is the showman of the band, and he's always in that schoolboy uniform doing his signature moves with the guitar. His soloing's always fantastic. Yeah, love AC/DC. Cool thing with the lightning bolt here coming down. Released in 1976. First song we're going to go with is the opener. It's A Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll. Yeah, good one. Good energy and build when this song kicks off as you're listening to this record. It's got bagpipes in it, which I read over the chagrin of Bon. They gave him problems, I think, when they played this song live. But yeah, this is a great song. And when the movie School of Rock came out with Jack Black, when that band with the students is playing this song, I'm pretty sure that's what it is at the Battle of the Bands. It really cemented this song for me. It was already great, but it made me pay even more attention to it. Just one of those songs that I think a lot of musicians now, this is one of those songs that paved them to becoming rock stars. Next song we're going to go with in my top three from High Voltage, we're going to go track two, Rock and Roll Singer. And I just think this one keeps up the momentum of track one. It's good, energetic. And I like this as I'm going to be a rock and roll star. That's one of the vocals that Bond sings. And sure enough, these boys became big stars. But yeah, that's a good song. Other tracks on here, I think a lot of people might pick the Jack. You'll see that it's been in the concerts kind of throughout. TNT is a great one, but I did not pick TNT because I like the live version with Brian Johnson better. I know that might upset a lot of people, but that's the version when it's TNT. Oi. Oi, the version of the oi on the live version is better than the one here. I don't love the ois in here. They sound a little too rough. I want to say childish, but I know that's not the right word. But TNT is a great song. So yeah, don't dislike it just because I'm saying that. Live Wire is another popular one, but I'm gonna go with the title track, High Voltage. Really cool song. Keeps up with the theme of singing about rock and roll that you have in Bond's lyrics. Bond's writing lyrics. I think Malcolm and Angus are writing lyrics. These are the primary songwriters of these early albums. Maybe all of them. I'll have to go back and check that out, but I know I saw their names a lot. Malcolm and Angus, always. And but yeah, that's a good rocker. Good one to, pick your friends up you're driving to. You got the energy, you're hanging out, just spending time with quality people that you dig. So yeah, High Voltage, really dig that one. Their second international release or U.S. release is Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. This one also has a 1976, at least according to iTunes. I'll double check that, but I know a lot of these classic bands, Kiss did it. Van Halen might have done it too, where you either have two records in the same year or you have like back-to-back years. They just were pumping out records, which you don't see that now. A band that's doing it quick, you might get every 2 years is what you see. But this is one of the records I had as a kid. I had this one, Highway to Hell, Back in Black. Those are the three. Thunderstruck. I think those are the four studio ones I had, and my brother had other ones. So top three songs: Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap, going with the title track, Dirty Deeds. Yeah, concert staple. It's cool when they're playing this live. You got the crowd singing the chorus with them. Good solo on this one. The opening riff I dig. When I was learning to play guitar, I must tell you, I never got good at it, but I had an AC/DC book, and this is one of the first songs that I learned. I haven't played guitar in a while, but I probably should dust that off and bring that song out. But yeah, Dirty Deeds, classic AC/DC, really good stuff there. Other song I'm going to go with is track number 4, Rocker. This is just a punk rock AC/DC right here. And you see it's not a very long song either. Actually, I was looking at, yeah, it's under 3 minutes. The song before it was under 3 minutes. They get in there, it's energetic, and they get out. But yeah, if you want that punk rock side of these guys, you got Rocker from AC/DC. And then the third song I'm going to go with is Right On. I have in my notes it's a ballad. It's not a ballad. It's just slow, bluesy AC/DC. They do this really well. I think partly because their rhythm section is so strong, which I failed to mention. So let me tell you who we have in the band. Bon Scott on vocals, Angus Young on lead guitar, Malcolm Young on rhythm guitar. Malcolm, fantastic. Angus, great too. Angus and the singers would get the love, but Malcolm, what a great riff writer. And he and the bass section keep this going. So we have Mark Evans on bass and Phil Rudd on the drums. In the first record, High Voltage, since it was a combo of the Australian releases on bass and the later songs on High Voltage, Rob Bailey and then George Young, who I'm pretty confident is the brother, and he helped produce many of these records. George Young plays bass on one of the songs on the High Voltage record, and then you have Phil Rudd on drums, and then Tony Correnti plays drums on the later tracks on High Voltage. But sorry for that squirrel moment. Let's go back to, Dirty Deeds. My third song on here is Right On. It's good. It's really cool. The guitar work's always good when AC/DC puts a little extra soul in there, but it's really the blues. Yeah, as a kid, I did not think of them as a blues band, but absolutely. Blues is a big part of their style. Their third release, 1977, Let There Be Rock. Yeah, I feel like AC/DC's finding their groove. They're getting a little bit more not experimental. The songs are starting to get a little longer. And I just think they're just developing as songwriters. So the first song I'm going to pick is Let There Be Rock, the title track. I just think it's super awesome. It's cool how they wrote this song, the creation of rock and roll, like the creation of, us, the universe, how, God created the world and mankind based on the Bible. And so you just look at this is a song, when you listen to it live, they're just jamming. They can get in there. This could be an extra long track when they're jamming. Lyrically, I just think it's cool. Let there be light, sound, drums, guitar, let there be rock. That's just really, good stuff. I think a lot of famous musicians, that's going to be one of the songs that they talk about. Let There Be Rock, number 1. Number 2 for my top 3, we're going to go track 7, Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be. Bond's singing about a relationship here. This is a good driving track, just like the grooves on it. Classic AC/DC once again. And then we're going to go with the album closer, Whole Lotta Rosie. This is another concert staple. They always play it. When the song kicks in and there's a little break in the riffing from Malcolm and Angus, you have the crowd chanting Angus. I thought that was always cool. They do that quite a bit. And I'll say I didn't love this song as a kid. It just has grown on me over the years. I just think it's energetic, and I love. It's a perfect song to close out the record. The guitar solo from Angus is great, and then he keeps soloing, or he brings his solo back as the album's closing. So I'm like, oh yeah. AC/DC, known for Angus doing his thing, and that's what you do on a Whole Lotta Rosie here. So top 3 from Let There Be Rock, we're going the title track, Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be, and Whole Lotta Rosie. The next album, the last album we'll do for this part of this ranking, is an album, Powerage, that a lot of famous musicians say this is their favorite, or they'll say they were inspired by it. The most recent video I saw, but I think I already knew it, was Scott Ian from Anthrax. He was naming his favorite albums from these just Mount Rushmore musicians, and Powerage was it for AC/DC. But just doing research, Eddie Van Halen was talking about how influential Powerage was them too for Eddie. Here we go. The song I'm going to go with first is Rock and Roll Damnation. It's I'm just going in order how I see them, so it's not that this is number one. Rock and Roll Damnation, track number one. I like how it's drumming in the beginning and you've claps. There's claps in there too, just adds another element to the percussion. Yeah, as the song kicks in and goes, I just dig it. Lyrically, feel like this is a sibling to Hell in a Bad Place to Be. It's just like a relationship, and there's got some edge to a relationship. So that's a good one. Rock and Roll Damnation. That's gonna be the first one. Then we're gonna go with Sin City. There's a number of other tracks you could choose from, but Sin City, this is the bluesy one for me. Standouts are gonna be the solo from Angus. And to inspire this song, these boys must have been hanging out in Las Vegas, right? This song is talking about, gambling, hitting the different tables. But yeah, it's a good one. It's great to hear it live too, because it's another one where Angus can get a little extra soloing and just show off his skills. But my favorite song on here, and it just might be in my top 10 AC/DC songs, but I found it late. And I don't know how I found it late. I found it 2 years ago, even though I'd heard it before. It just grabbed me 2 years ago. And it's Gone Shootin', track number 7. Bands like AC/DC, Van Halen, Kiss, Megadeth, I find at least once a year I'll go deep. I'll do a deep dive into their calendar and just not calendar, their catalog, and listen to their stuff, because I think I have all the records of all those bands that I named just right there. And so was listening to Powerage, and Gone Shootin' came on. I'm like, wait, what a second. It just grabbed me. It grabbed me. And as soon as it opens, I love the guitar work. Bluesy rock and roll. And when it transitions from the first section to the next section, I just envisioned, you're hanging with your pals, you're out there driving, sitting down, just having a good time with people you care about. More on the softer side of AC/DC, in the similar vein of Ride On, but I think this one has more, it's more up-tempo than Ride On, but I like that song too. But Gone Shootin' is just awesome. I wish I would see this in their concert set list. Really dig that one a lot. So for Powerage, we are going with Rock and Roll Damnation, Sin City, and Gone Shootin'. I think a lot of people would take Riff Raff. That's a cool one. I think that's just the band they can show off. And I feel like they recorded that one just jamming and then bond through some lyrics in there. But the musicianship in Riff Raff is the highlight of that song. But anyways, that's going to close out part one of the top 3 songs from each studio album from AC/DC, and I'll work on part 2, maybe get it out tomorrow or next weekend. But be well, my friends.